Well, yeah, there's been a reconsideration. I've been nebulous about a lot of things recently, and people understand, people with a long memory or who have been schooled efficiently might know what can serve any number of people in that regard. But I, I think anybody worth his salt probably will see the overlap concerning assassinations. Going back to June 28th, when World War One actually began. Of course, people didn't know at first that it was World War One. It was more incremental for people living in the day than the summaries that we have of events. The granular tedium of ordinary workaday civilization. That's not to say, though, that we should paint everything in shades of gray. I mean, people went about their lives and they didn't know that their families would be decimated by fatalities and so on. But yeah, we can look back on more recent events and see similarities. And one that struck me was this grinning murderer accused of an assassination and whose actions resemble those having to do with Abraham Lincoln. People may recall that the assassin jumped onto the stage and wounded himself and kind of dragged himself off the stage, limping all the way to his death days later by gunshots. Death by cop, they call it sometimes today, or whomever. Um, it's eerie to me, and yes, people have talked about Butler buildings and survivors and one thing and another. And pretty soon things seem to be rather astonishing, to say the least. But, I looked at some video that showed a man jumping from a very tall second floor location to the ground, and no wonder he was limping. Uh, it is kind of spooky, though, to compare that to Booth. Um, but it's really terrible to think that media is, well, no, I should always say media are. It's plural, and I sometimes forget because I listen to too much garbage. But media are ultimately implicated in every assassination. Now, I would say that is by definition in the modern world. Should I defend that? I've done too much of that already, even though I know that I can't, even though I know that I shouldn't, even if I feel strongly that others really, very definitely should. Um, that's not the way the world works around me. Uh, I've been canceled. Here's Sunday again. Uh, Going up on to 7 a.m., so I'm going to shut down in terms of this recording, September the 14th, because I have been canceled. And the best thing to do is not necessarily adopt a fetal position in some wrong way, but not to invite any extra noise. I'm open for amusement. I don't expect any. Today I'll be doing well just to find some music to hear along the way. I don't know when. And if anybody, understands that, assassination is a peculiar form of murder, one that implicates media, whether you like it or not, I would say. If not the actions of media, then the inactions of media, or potentials that are unused, or potentials that are abused. If you find out somehow by word of mouth or in terms of a broadcast station that landscape workers pushing lawnmowers are being shot and killed, probably you don't use the word assassination, right? On the other hand, if World War 14 or something starts someday, will it be because of media failure or design? Well, I'll leave all of those arguments to people in better classrooms than I've ever darkened, and for good reason. I never wanted to, and never will. It was all I could do to return to Manchester. You might say too often, or what? Some would say not often enough, but it's all up for grabs, isn't it? I would say, even to answer the question is an assertion that might involve a reach that is longer than a grasp might be strong or feeble.